morning, YouTube. Good morning, Toga Brothers family. Good morning, friends. You guys know my standard greeting. I am wiped out. Alright, first and foremost, this movie that I'm gonna explain, I'm gonna be spoiling this movie. It's a good movie. I encourage you to watch it. If you don't care for it, or you'll still watch a movie while knowing how it ends, I condone you. I give more power to you, because I could never do that. But the whole point of me telling you this is that I'm going to reference a movie for this particular video I'd like to share with you. Because this particular movie that I'm going to discuss brings me to tears without fail 100% of the time. Having said that, I'm giving you plenty of chances now to turn away. Because from this point forward, we ain't going back. Folks, this is live. It's not like we can go back in time, right? Okay. So, I've warned you, I've told you, you know, I know, we got it. Okay. I'd like to talk today about the essence of perseverance. Perseverance in life will get you way farther than any other trait you have. This is going to be debatable, and this is going to be controversial, and this is going to be very cringeworthy for some of you, and I apologize, but let's keep going. Money won't get you everywhere in this life, okay? I would also like to tell you that most of my success that I have gotten had nothing to do with money, all right? Now, as many of you know, I started working at the age of 17, okay? I started working for an ice cream parlor, learning how to scoop ice cream and serve it in an ice cream bowl and an ice cream cone. Folks, I also served this ice cream in the wintertime while I had an apartment that I was in high school with my mom and my dad that was quite a ways away, walking distance. I had to walk home, okay? It really has nothing to do with this video, but I had to work while I was working for my success, right? Am I here to brag to you? No, okay? I had a couple jobs after that, and I've been involved in a couple of industries after that. I've been involved in construction. I've been involved in hospitality services. I've been involved in public safety services. I've been involved in aviation. I've been involved in retail. I've been involved in food industry. I've pretty much been a well-rounded type of person. The only thing I have not done, I don't know if I ever will do, is become a generic customer service representative taking calls and requests. That's just not my type of gig, okay? So, while being at my first job, I basically got let go. But I got let go because I was focusing more of work and not my studies. I I was focusing more on the things that were really not of importance in lieu of things that were important, like getting an education, getting some knowledge so I could be able to get better job in life later on. Okay? Folks, I want to let you know right now, I know your typed comments. I'll read them when this is done, but I cannot reply. So, good morning for those of you that are joining and replying and responding in comments. Absolutely, thank you so much. Okay. When I got let go from the jobs after that, I didn't really understand that you had to have some credibility and you needed to persevere. You needed to persevere in that you needed to have a sense of character and develop what we call rapport, okay? There's a person out there on the world of business, Michael, right? You guys are very well aware of this particular guy, right? He's a pretty tall guy, pretty well known. He talks a lot about having rapport, right? And you know what? He's right. You need to establish a sense of rapport while you're in life. Now, it doesn't always need to be for the next thing, for the next thing, for the next thing, right? You can just establish rapport with people being nice, right? That's how we are as humans. We have rapport with strangers, with acquaintances, with potential business partners, potential friends, potential mates, right? We have rapport, okay? So, let me tell you something. When I got let go from my first job, I was sad. I was upset. I had fun scooping ice cream. I had fun serving it to people and watching their face as I'm serving them a cup of or cone of goodness that they're gonna have and remember when I served it to them, because they're gonna go home like, you know what, that was a really good cone or really good bowl of ice cream. It was good. I'm not gonna mention the company I worked for because, you know, it probably won't be relevant by the time this video hits, you know, a while. But I say that because I had rapport and I persevered, right? I was like, oh, this is really bad. This is terrible. I'm not going to be good at anything. So as much as I wanted to just keep my head down and sulk in my dreariness and my sadness and all this nonsense, right? I persevered and I started looking for other work. Now remember, I'm 17. I'm not out on my own. I'm not an adult trying to work on my own at 40 hours, all that stuff, right? I was still in school, folks, 2003. I was in my sophomore year, close to my junior year, right? I should have been focused on school, but I branched out to getting some money so I could have some extra allowance and income to understand the point of expendable income, right? Now, I also am telling you this because when I did get let go, I went out looking for that second job, right? As I went out looking for that second job, there weren't a whole lot of good things about that job, right? But again, remember, what do jobs do? They bring you income. Now, not all jobs bring you monetary income. Some jobs, internships, bring you skill income. Right? They bring you knowledge income. Okay? So, while you think, oh, this is doing me no good, you start putting your head down. But you've been there from day one, right? You had a job before that. You got to where you were by persevering. You never gave up, right? The fact that you went out and looked for another job means you persevered, right? Okay? I'm going to reference this video, guys, in a minute, but stay with me, because I'm trying to set the scene visually, okay? So you understand where I'm coming from and why it's of value and importance for this movie. Because remember, Alright, I'm hoping it stays. Alright. I hope you guys stick with me, because I'll get there, I promise you. I had a couple of jobs that I really liked the benefits, and it crushed me. But remember, I persevered, right? Persevering is everything. You have to stick with it, right? Now, eventually, you'll persevere, and you'll find where you need to be. You'll find where you have to go. That could be your end point, right? And if it's not, you'll know, because there will have been signs to tell you that. I mean, I don't know if you're a firm believer in that kind of stuff, but things have a reason, okay? We won't have to get all philosophical on that and get all biblical and, religious on that, but things happen for a reason, right? It's science. Neil deGrasse even kind of proves this in a lot of his discussions, right? So, come on, bro. At one point, I got let go from a job that I really liked, right? And I was devastated, okay? I was devastated. It was a fun job, and it was the beginning of my aviation career, right? Now, before then, some of you know, and some of you don't know, I wanted to be a fireman my whole life. I had a little jacket when I was a little kid, a little play jacket that I was always dressed up in, doing little scenarios like a fireman. I always had little toys. I always went to open house. I always went and asked questions, saw the fire trucks. Basically, I enveloped my whole life as being a fireman, right? And I went to volunteer. I went and did a whole lot of stuff to make sure I could be of a sound fireman. Eventually, I got to a point where I realized this isn't for me. And when you go and follow something that you thought you were going to do your whole life as your dream, it crushes you. I use that word because it crushes. It's like you're squeezing a little bag of rice so hard that the pressure is building and building until it just explodes, right? So, onto that, I basically kind of jumped into retail to make more income from that. And then, after that, I got exposed to the airlines. I got exposed to traveling. I got exposed to blue-collar work. I got exposed to team-based work. I got exposed to a big operation type of work, right? And things went great. It was awesome. I loved it. So, as I went on, I basically went from one airline to another. But I said, I know what I'm capable of. I know what I'm worth. I don't want to stay here. I'm going to fire myself and move to another airline. I'm capable of this. I'm going to do it. Right? So I went from a contractor to an actual airline. Okay? Major airline. For the States. Okay? And then I heard that there was a major airline that they were basically opening positions for. I said, with all due respect, I've put in enough time in this particular airline. I didn't say who I was working for, but I was like, I would like to work for you. I would like to have the experience of working in this sort of environment, and would like to have some skills that you would like to basically share and teach us as new people in the airline industry. Like whatever is of sound quality and value for us, right? It was great. I was learning new things, learning new skills. I felt like I was part of a community, right? I never gave up, right? I was like, there's more to be had. There's more to be done. So I just kept moving and moving and moving. And then finally, at present day, when this is recorded, I work for a mainline of a major airline, okay? Doing a specialized job for that major airline. Basically, it's a job that you can't just apply for off the street and say, I'm gonna do this. You have to put in some time, deal with the grinding and hard work, and the sweat and tears and all that, and sometimes even blood, but, you know, work safe, obviously. But my point in discussing these minute details is I persevered. Okay, folks, the movie I am talking about is called Men of Honor. How many of you have seen Men of Honor? Alright? Men of Honor is an outstanding movie. Okay? First of all, Cuba Gooding Jr. is in that movie. Robert De Niro is in that movie. And a lot of other actors that you probably recognize. By a lot, I mean there's probably like 2 or 3 at most, right? That you probably recognize. I encourage you to go watch it. Alright? Now, are you ready for the spoiler alert? If you do not want me to spoil the movie, close this out, go watch it, and then watch the replay when I post this to my channel as an actual watchable movie or video. Okay? We good? 3, 2, 1, let's go. Okay, near the end of the movie, Cuba Gooding Jr. is a Navy diver, okay? He does a couple of tasks for the Navy, and at one point, he ends up injured after an incident, okay? This incident destroys his mobility to further his career. Destroys it, okay? Pretty much breaks it in half, right? Now, they go on to trial to basically say, I want to be a Navy diver again. I don't want to be on light duty for the rest of my life. I want to make a difference in the Navy, okay? Because of that, Robert De Niro, his superior and his mentor, goes from being a very disgruntled, angry mentor, because now you got to remember and understand that this movie basically kind of entails with the demographic of Cuba Gooding Jr. basically portrayed as different race, okay? That's what the movie is basically all about, is separating races, right? In a world, in a society, okay? And it's a very powerful movie. But, so, Robert De Niro plays a mentor and a superior who basically runs all over Cuba Gooding Jr. as his under the belt kind of person, right? His junior officer, okay? And he does a very good job of getting under his skin, getting in his head mentally, and it ruins him. At one point, Cuba Gooding Jr. perseveres and says, I'm dying on my last wish to be a Navy diver. I don't want to leave the Navy on light duty forever. I'm not going to do that. You can't make me do that. I'm going to reinstate myself again. So what does Robert De Niro do? He sits in court from the Navy and the Department of Defense, which basically lays out the policy. If you cannot perform an X amount of steps in a short period of time, you cannot go back to active duty. You'll be on light duty for the remainder of your employment and or service. and he did not want that. So folks, do you know what he did? He looked his superior officer in the face and said, "Suit me up. Put me in the suit, put me in the full active getup, the diving mask and all that stuff, right? Without the actual oxygen connected, right? Because you can't really do that specifically. But the whole getup. Stand up and walk 10 steps. He said, if you cannot do this, I cannot grant you full duty." Well, he starts walking after he gets disgruntled by the fact that he's in pain by getting up. It hurts. You can see him gristle. Okay? Folks, the moment he stood up, my heart sunk. Because as a person that's watching this movie of character, it's like you're there. You're in that courtroom. It's powerful. Okay? I encourage you to do it. As he gets up, he takes 4 steps and starts slouching as if he cannot continue. He gets to the 8th step, and the judge in the courtroom basically states from the Department of Defense, attend to him, he cannot continue. I do not want to send him to the hospital and break him for the remainder of his life. His officer, played by Robert De Niro, says, "You will stand down, Navy diver. I'm ordering you to continue these 12 steps." Well, so the remainder of the 4 steps. And as he continues, he recites the purpose and core value of a Navy diver and purpose. And each step makes you want to cry. Folks, when he gets to the end mark of that 12th step of his family and his kids and his wife, I applaud you if you can hold back tears. Because if you've ever had to go through something that hard, that challenging, that difficult, that problematic, it can ruin you. Like, it can destroy you, like we've been talking this whole video. To see the look on his face of, oh, heck yeah, you told me I couldn't do it. You told me I was incapable of doing it. You told me I will never do it. It's impossible. Well, look where I'm standing today. I stand before you, 12 complete steps completed by a Navy diver on light duty in full outfit and getup, showing you and proving you I am worthy of being an active Navy diver, working and serving his country. That shakes you and me to my core. And ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to complete today's video by saying with me that, my friends and family and people and strangers, that is what perseverance is all about. Just because the conditions are not ideal, just because your peers may tell you you can't do it, just because people think that you're different, so you won't, stick it to them. Show them. Yeah, I couldn't do it then. Look at me right now. If I didn't do it, if I couldn't do it, if I wouldn't do it, I would not be here completing 12 steps in front of you. That is what perseverance is all about today. Folks, thank you for watching this. I hope you stuck around to listen to my video. It's a very strong and sentimental message that I wanted to share with you. Take the time to go watch that movie. It's called Men of Honor. I don't know what platforms you can find it, but I highly consider you go check it out. Maybe even rent it. You can probably find it to rent for about, $2 or $3. It's actually worthy enough to be able to buy it, if you ask me. I mean, it was produced correctly, produced effectively. It was wonderful. So go out and go buy it. But I'm going to go ahead and end this. I'll post this to my channel. Make it viewable for all of you guys. Don't give up. Persevere. You're capable. You're worthy. You have purpose. Thank you all so much. Have a wonderful morning. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful night. And I will see you next time. Till next time, I'm Sean, Toga Brother. I'm out.